Hey, welcome back to the channel. And guys, today I want to talk about the social network Weku versus well shares or well shares versus Weku. And so, in my search for various platforms, social networks across the blockchain that I think will perform very well and present many options for us in that particular space, I've now come across Weku. And what's been very interesting about sites like Weku, Well Shares, they're all almost identical to the Steam it on the Steam blockchain. Um, but there are some slight differences, and Weku is no exception. Although its layout is almost identical to Steam it and Well Shares, there are certain distinct features they have different. So we're going to compare well shares and Weku today and see which one we'll look at their differences and see if these are going to be platforms that we use in the future and that solve many of the problems that we're addressing. So the thing about Weku is Weku um, seems fairly new. I haven't heard about it. I don't think it's been around more than a few months. And there have been some big steamians who tried. Excuse me, I dropped my mic again. I should wait to the end of the video to do that. But there have been some steamians over on Weku as well. This seems to be a common pattern where we have steamians try out these Steam-like sites. And some of them stick around and find them user-friendly and interesting. And Weku's no exception. There are some Steamians who are here already using it and like it to a certain degree. Um, Now, as many of these are identical, uh, they're going to be things that are exactly the same, but Weku doesn't seem to have. Of course, it has the Weku power, the Weku Dollarman you can power up just like you can do on Whaleshares and Steam it. It doesn't seem to have delegation either, much like Whaleshares. So in comparing that and Whaleshares, they seem very similar. Also, another thing about Weku is at this point in time, Weku doesn't seem to trade on any exchange. However, Weku does plan an early ICO in November. Um, and unofficially, although warned against, there are people that are selling these tokens on BitShares unofficially. It would seem under some type of token like Weku's. And I'm going to have to investigate that. I'm not exactly sure how they're doing that, but they seem to have some type of liquid market going where you can still liquidate Weku's. And of course, it's being warned against that. Obviously, you might liquidate your Weku. And when they start to trade on an exchange after the ICO, it could be a great deal more or a great deal less. So who knows? But either way, it would seem you're taking a chance, and this is a very unofficial way to trade this token at this time. So what are the differences with Weku? Because at first when I looked here at Weku, I was like, well, they don't have a liquid market. Didn't seem to have a whole lot of interaction. I guess maybe because I didn't know anybody here. I don't know, or they just didn't see my post or something. But I did get a few upvotes, but nothing significant. Not like well shares. Well shares, I seem to get a lot more upvotes participation early on, and that didn't seem to happen at Weku, although it does seems to be very active. And so in comparison to well shares, that wasn't very appealing to me. Now, what was very appealing to me about Weku, which well shares doesn't seem to have, is that they do have a referral program, and you are supposedly rewarded with this program. Now, I don't know exactly how they do that. I do see the affiliate link, but I don't seem to see any way that it shows this information and data back to the user. So so I don't know how you're supposed to know if you've referred somebody or not, and what your reward is. But apparently, you're supposed to get one. What is what I do see advantageous about Weku using this approach is that um, it's like free marketing. It seems to be a lot of people using this, and imagine you got thousands, millions, however many people are using Weku. These links all across the internet, and people sign up and trying it out, and they're being incentivized by getting rewards from Weku. So, from a marketing perspective, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially for a social network, social media platform that is going to need people in order for it to survive, right? For it to be significant and really fulfill its purpose, probably going to need a fair amount of users. Another thing that seems to have made the comparison between Weku and Well Shares for me a little bit more difficult. Whereas initially I thought it was a home run for Well Shares. I was kind of going, well Shares has a lot of Steemians coming over, probably a lot of whales from Steam It, so they got already capital coming in. They're already trading over on BitShares and a few other exchanges. I think like the Easy Dex and Rudex, I believe it's called. So they have a few where people are already trading and doing various things like that. And so I was like, well, if Weku doesn't have that, that's not going to be appealing to people. And I said, well, that may not work, but it doesn't seem to have stopped people from participating and doing their posts. I think they understand that Weku has a plan for the future and a vision, and where they're going to get a lot of people and they're going to be able to trade there and have volume. And that brings me to another point with Weku, which makes it kind of in this comparison, which made it a little bit more difficult for me to see who was the most advantageous, because Weku, another thing I noticed about Weku, I was approved as soon as I registered, and this seems to be common on Weku with just about everybody else. So it doesn't seem to be any kind of verification issues or anything like that. Now, not exactly sure how Weku handles this. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what are their security things against all these multiple account creations and various things like that. However, it did seem to be very easy to get registered, get verified. So that means a few things will probably happen. It either means that they will have millions upon millions of people trying this, using it, and have a good volume of trade and a good economy, or it means the direct opposite. Everybody's in, you got multiple accounts, and you're crashing the market. It's not a healthy market, right? And so I'm not sure how that's being handled. Weku seems to came in, handled it without a problem. People just coming in all the time. There's a lot of activity here on the site, but I'm not exactly sure what the technicalities on that are going to be in the end. Well, I guess we'll have to just see how the data holds up. Will they get enough people using it? Will it become a velocity of distribution to the point where it will not even matter? I have no idea. I think we'll have to see what's going to become of that. But seeing that Weku is kind of opening up the floodgates here, I suppose they're going to raise capital to keep their operation running efficiently in early November here. Their team seems to now be communicating. I think they're going to be doing, if they haven't already done it, a radio question and answer type thing segment here coming up soon. and going to give people a chance to interact with them quite a bit. And so with those things, Weku it's a bit more challenging competition here because with well shares again, it just seems to be well shares seems to be a companion to Steam It, and so I'm under the assumption that well shares will have a very contained, limited growth spurt. My impression of well shares is that well shares doesn't really wish to be this large entity or group, and kind of be alongside Steam's, reminiscent to me of what we're going to get with smart media tokens. And so, whereas I don't think those are bad things, I think that in comparison to Weku, which is going to trade as an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain, they seem to just be kind of doing things however they want to do it. They don't seem to be worried about too many people coming in overcrowding their network. They don't seem to be worried about many things, and I don't think they're going to have an issue with marketing because how they have this incentivized marketing referral affiliate program that's rewarding everybody on the network to post links, and which is how I found out about Weku, by people posting links on here. So it's something to look into. I have been uploading content, posting here on Weku, made a little bit of money, nothing significant. Also, they do give you, when you sign up, 100 Weku tokens, and I thought that was very interesting because depending on how well Weku performs in their ICO, and how the markets perform and how people interact with Weku, which I'm sure they will be doing so quite a bit once it gets going. Once they're completed their ICO, and so many people are using the network, um, that could turn out to be a significant amount of money that they're giving out, the 100 Weku tokens, or it could turn out to be a very insignificant amount based on how this goes. And at this point, we don't really know, but this is the closest thing that gets to Steam It as far as options and competition that I think really actually work, because I've tried some other ones, and although I've used them, we still got Tribe. Maybe we'll do one on Tribe. I think Tribe is now in this token sale, and Tribe will kind of run on the EOS network. And there are some good things about Tribe. They have a similar thing like Weku, where you get awarded so many tokens. I think I've got like 400 tokens just by referring people over to Tribe. And again, as they're doing their token sale as well, not exactly sure what the value of that is, but I like the marketing aspect of it. I think that's the easiest way to market, letting everybody drop these referral links. Solar tried that, got a lot of people in, but as far as volume trading, it didn't seem to catch on. Whereas I think Tribe and Weku might fare better in those situations, is they have a very Steam It like situation, where Solar didn't have this. Solar had these weird kind of cards that you posted on, and it was kind of reminiscent of Instagram or something, but very just kind of, it wasn't very catchy. It didn't catch on. It didn't have the Steam It feel. So I think these platforms that are using this very Steamian like approach in a format that has worked well already and people have become accustomed to, and they like that. And the only thing that's really hurt them is being able to register accounts and being able to more better distribution over the community. If these platforms have these Steam It like capabilities, but they can find a way to address those issues and fix them, then they could emerge a very good token. And it may just come to be a situation where there are going to be several of these platforms competing together, and they're all going to offer a variety of things to in different ways. But anyway, guys, that's what I want to say about the pros and cons of well shares versus Weku. Well shares to me is still very established because it has a lot of the heavy hitters from the Steam It community, A lot of steam at wells are probably there, and their capital injection is going to be advantageous to the well shares community sustaining, I think. But also they have that lineage and that heritage directly from steam, as they've been doing this longer and they've been had this connection longer, right? And that's definitely going to work in their favor. The disadvantage of well shares is going to be the rate of growth, comparable to probably what we're going to get with Weku and Tribe. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if I believe that well shares will be able to keep up with that level of growth. Um, I think that people using Steam will continue to use Steam. They may try to use both, but then so it's gonna be interesting to watch. And then if well shares can get the registered accounts, are they going to be able to handle them? I don't even know how Weku is going to be able to handle them at this point, but apparently they're doing it some kind of way. So we're going to see, and I think it's going to be just a matter of time before everybody knows about Weku, because their links are going to be popping up everywhere, all over the place. So guys, that's all I want to say about it. Let me know what you think about these various social platforms, and how you think they'll work out in the end. And guys, if you like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and until next time, take care.